Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you this Rymer 90 centimeter batten. So now I've already done a video of this, but I'm going to be redoing it. The reason being is because I have done a few changes since then, and also try to avoid saying okay a lot. So this is a Rymer batten. I did show you one of these previously, but that one was a 60 centimeter batten. This one here is a 90 centimeter batten. So this one here is basically the next one up in size. In length and also wattage. So this batten here takes an F30 T8 tube, and I don't know what the T12 tube's wattage was. Might have been, I don't really know. I'd have to take a look. Unfortunately, I haven't got any T12 tubes in this length. Unfortunately, I've only got T8 and LED. If I had a T12, I'd have it out, but unfortunately, I don't have one. But if you want to see T12 tubes, you can see the video I did on the 60 centimeter one, and probably the next video, which will be the 1.2 meter version. So this one here is made by Rymer, and it's the same batten, exact same batten. The only difference is just the length. Now this batten here, I think I salvaged this from a neighbour up the street, and they were going to throw it away. So I was just walking up the street and I saw it on their junk pile, so I picked it up and brought it home. And I did have to restore it. It did need to be repainted, rewired, and here it is. So much better than this batten going for scrap. It's just best to save it. So this one here is basically the next size up. It's 90 centimeter. Now 90 centimeter is very uncommon and very rare. It was probably very common back in the day, but it's not very common now. Most battens nowadays are typically 1.2 meter or they're 60 centimeter. I've not seen LED battens in this length, but you can get LED tubes for it, which is nice. So this length is very uncommon nowadays, but it is still out there. You can probably get, and you can get LEDs for it, which is good. All right, so let's take a look around. So on this end of the batten, of course, we have our lamp holder. The lamp holders, like I said, are not original. These are HPM 380s, and these ones here are a screw-on type. As you can see here, they're held on with a simple screw, and they're pretty sturdy. The ends on these battens used to fold in. They used to be swivel ends, but I put pop rivets in there to lock them in place because I'm not a big fan of that feature. And it does work very well. Inside here, we have the starter receptacle, which is a HPM 390. As you can see there, that's just a screw-in receptacle. As you can see, the original one was actually a clip-on one. On the side of the batten here, we have a power port, which is just a standard computer cable, and it's held on with two stainless steel M3 screws, and these are marine grade, so they won't rust or corrode. Originally, when I did this up, I think I put zinc plated screws on, and those unfortunately got corroded. They didn't look very nice. And it was the same for the plates on the screws on the plate that I had on here originally. They were zinc plated, and unfortunately they got corroded. So I replaced them with these M6 stainless steel ones. The only ones that are steel, I think, are these ones that hold lamp holders on, because unfortunately I thought these would be an M3, but they're actually not. There's some sort of imperial thread, so I couldn't do them. So if I ever repaint this batten, I'd just check them, and if they need to be polished, I'd just hit them with the polisher and just polish the head and be done with it. Moving on over, we have the switch. This is a simple Eclipsal architrave switch from the 2000 series. I've been using these on my battens for a very long time, and they work quite well. On this end of the batten, we have the other lamp holder, and of course we have the same stainless steel screw and the same screw to hold the lamp holder on, and you can see the part number for the lamp holder right there. It is CAT 380, and HPM does still make these, which is good. So it's good to have a few of these. Whenever I get any more of these to restore, I can still buy lamp holders for them. I like to replace the lamp holders. Now HPM unfortunately stopped selling the 382, which was the round button style, but they still sell this tombstone shape. On this end of the batten, you can see the knockout isn't knocked out, so that's where you'd run a conduit through, of course. On this end, it's knocked out, and that's the way it was when I got the batten. You can probably see the bottom of the lamp holder and the screw protruding. Okay, so let's take a look on the bottom. So this is the bottom of the batten, as you can see. These two bolts right here are for the starter receptacle. Unfortunately, though, I couldn't get any M4 screws with button heads in this in stainless steel, so I had to get these ones. Just use a simple washer. I had to use washers because the holes were a bit too big. So I put those on there, and those hold the starter receptacle in place. Moving on over, this is the this is an M5 size screw. This is the earthing screw. So this is what the earth wire is connected to the chassis. These two screws here are for the terminal block. As you can see, they're M3 and they're stainless steel. This one here is for the ballast, because this batten does have a ballast, of course. So this, we can use fluorescent or LED tubes. So that's basically all there is on the outside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it apart and show you what's inside. So I'm going to put my mobile down, and I'm just going to get my screwdriver here, and I'm just going to undo the screws. And we'll take the plate off and have a look inside. Now I only need to take one screw out and just loosen the other one. That's all I need to do. So I'm just going to slide the plate and off it comes. Oh. Bit dusty in there, a bit dusty inside, but otherwise that's what there is. Okay, so it looks like I might need to repaint this, because unfortunately some of the paint has turned into like a cream colour. Unfortunately that happens. I don't know why that happens, it just does. It just happens. So I might need to give this a fresh coat of paint. So inside here we have our starter receptacle. This is a HPM 390. This is basically for the starter, and I had to pack it out. The reason being is because the chassis of the batten is deep, and what would happen if I didn't pack it out is that when you try to get your starter in, it would sit inside flush with the chassis lip of the batten there, and it would be real hard to get it out. So by putting that packing in there, it can protrude out past the chassis of the batten, and I can easily remove it. So that's why I had to put packers out. The way I packed it out was I just put 2 extra nuts underneath here with washers, and that basically just how it worked. Moving on over, we have the port right here. Here we have our free lead cables that connect it. So the blue is our neutral, the green is our earth, and the brown is our active, also known as live. Moving on over, we have our switch. As you can see here, we have the 2 brown wires. One goes to the terminal block and the other one goes to the ballast. Okay, so that's basically all there is there for the switch, as you can see there. Here we have the earthing stud. So this is where the earth wire is connected. As you can see, it's getting a little bit dirty in here. I might need to give this a clean. But this is where the earth is connected. The earth wire is designed to protect the end user for in case the insulation, either the neutral or the live, got damaged or whatever, and it makes contact with the chassis. It would go through the earth and it would trip an RCD if you have one. So here we have our terminal block. This is held on with the 2 M3 screws, as you can see there. So that's and these terminal locks are common here in Australia in most light fittings and appliances. Here we have our ballast. Now this ballast is actually made for an F36 T8 tube, but it does work the F30 tube just fine, because that's what I had at the time. And there's our M5 screw, which holds it in place. And on this end of the batten, we have where the live goes in. So the live wire goes onto this end. On the other end is where the neutral goes. And of course, we have our screw right there. And inside there, you can probably see where the parts there that hold the lamp holders in place. And you can see the pop rivets going through so they don't move around. And as you can see, they're pretty strong, sturdy. And these HPM 380s are quite sturdy. All right, so let's put this thing back together and we'll fire it up. So put my mobile down. I'm gonna put the plate back on. And we'll line it up to make sure it's in the middle, so it's not too far left or too far right. I'll just check both ends of the batten there to make sure it's in place. Now I'll put the screw back in, lining up the threads, of course, and we'll just tighten it up. Now the original screws on this would have been an imperial thread. I think they might have been a 3/16 size thread. I think that's what they probably would have had originally, and I think the screws that held the ballast on was a 1/4. Okay, so now we've got the batten back together, so let's plug it in with our computer cable. So I'm just going to plug it in here, lining up the pins. I might just put the phone down again so I can hold the batten so it doesn't move while I try to plug it in. Alright, so now we've got it plugged in. Let me just make sure the power point is on, and it is. So we'll start off with the only fluorescent tube that I have for this. So we're going to put in a starter, which is just this Phillips starter here. So we'll just put that in there and twist it. And now we're going to put in the F30T8 tube. And this one here is made by Phillips. As you can see, it's an alto because it's got those green end caps. This is the only F30T8 tube that I actually have. I should get some more of these. And then this is the only LED that I have in this length as well. All right, let's fire it up. There we go. Not much blinkage, but it works pretty well. So let's try that again and see if we can get some blinkage out of it. Nope. It probably might be because the ballast is not, this ballast that I have in here is not really rated for this type of tube. Well, we are getting some blinkage though. Because I do like the old blink happiness of a fluorescent lamp. I remember these when I was in primary school. I had these battens in primary school in the 1.2 metre and probably some in the 60 centimetre. I think there might have been some of these in this length there, but I'm not 100% sure because this length is quite uncommon these days. But that's the T8, but that's the F30 fluorescent lamp, the only one that I have in this calibre. I surely wish that I had a T12, but unfortunately I don't. They're very hard to find. So I might need to get another one of these because this is the only tube that I have in this calibre. And it's but it works. I don't really use it because I mostly just keep that LED in there, as you can see. Now this is neutral white, by the way. All right, so that's the fluorescent tube. So let's take that out. Put him right there. And let's take this out. And now we're going to run the LED tube. So let's stick this LED starter in, also known as HRC fuse. The LED tube that I have here is made by I can't really pronounce that, but Cell doesn't have any LED tubes in this length, but there's some information on the tube right there. And this is a Type A. As you can see, it's a Type A LED tube. So, of course, Type A is what you'd use with magnetically ballasted battens. Okay, so now we've got the LED in. So this is neutral white. So let's fire this up. Now, of course, with LED, they're not going to blink, of course. And you can see it's actually a little bit brighter than the fluorescent tube because LEDs, they are brighter than fluorescent. And I'll hold you up closer to the tube here. And you can probably see in there we go. You can probably see all the individual LEDs on the actual LED strip module of the tube there. And that's what it looks like with the LED tube in it, as you can see there. And that's what you'll most likely see in these battens nowadays, if they're still around. And that's what I see in most battens now because these are old technology. Not many people, a lot of companies actually don't make these anymore because these are the thing now. LED is the thing. You can get these in neutral white, warm white, and also cool white. Now, apparently Cell doesn't make LED tubes in this calibre. It would be nice if they did, but unfortunately they don't. So I just got this one. It works. It's an LED tube. I probably should get some more of them because this is the only LED that I have in this calibre, and that's the only fluorescent that I have. So I should get some more of them. Now, I do know that Vibe, the company who makes these coloured tubes, actually does have a pink in this length, which is good to hear. So maybe I should get one of them. But that's essentially all there is to this batten. So that is my Rymer, or if I pronounce that correctly, 90 centimetre batten. Hope you enjoyed, and that'll be it.